Gamers are beyond tired of this movement that is supposed to be female empowerment to take female characters in video games and make them uglier, make them fatter, make them wear unflattering clothing, make them look uglier in general, give them ugly haircuts, so on and so forth. Ugly outfits, like it's all been happening like crazy to the point to where we're seeing existing characters like Lara Croft here, who was known for her over-the-top beauty and making her just look a lot more just normal, just girl next door. And while there's plenty of room for characters like the girl next door, that does not mean that bombshell characters cannot exist anymore. But alas, this is where we're at right now. And Dove has just decided to insert themselves. They're pulling an Anita Sarkeesian right now and speaking out against the over-sexualization of female video game characters. Let's just dive into this video because I've got a lot to show you guys. So right here in this tweet, it says Dove takes a stand against overly sexualized women in video games with Epic Games Unreal Engine education team and Women in Games, eliminating stereotypes to build young players' self-esteem and body confidence. So I guess the answer of building people's self-esteem is to make fat characters so that people won't actually, I don't know, be encouraged to use a treadmill or maybe not eat cake every day. You know, that's where it really falls on me, okay? This is where there's just really, the whole movement makes no sense to me, because when you're pushing this body positivity thing, this fat movement, you're encouraging people to be unhealthy and you think you're boosting their self-esteem, but just because the world around them just is not as healthy, is also as unhealthy as they are, would not build anyone's self-esteem. Getting healthy, okay? That will help build your self-esteem. Let me just play the video and then I'll continue further, because this is, yeah, this is cringe. Okay, and also where this video really fails too is it's trying to speak out against over-sexualization. This is not sexualized. I guess they consider being fit or having an hourglass shape to be sexualized. What about women with hourglass shapes in real life? You know? Do you just, what does that say about them, right? So what does it say about what Dove thinks about them? So in other words, it's not so much of let's stop sexualizing women. It's more of let's shame beauty. Let's shame beauty and let's shame health, because health and beauty go hand in hand, right? So let's shame this and let's promote unhealthy lifestyles is really what it is. This armor is so, it covers everything. This is not overly sexualized or even heckin' close. I'm not even opposed to, you know, a little bit of modesty. I'm not saying all, because some people will take what I say about this kind of stuff and misconstrue it dramatically. Same with like Lara Croft or with any other character, is that they think because I am saying, hey, let curvy, feminine female characters exist, let beautiful, sexy female characters exist, they think because I say that means that I am promoting that all video game characters and all these female characters need to look like they came out of something pornographic. I'm not promoting that. I am not promoting degeneracy. I am not promoting corn. Okay? But there's a difference here, right? There is just a difference here. But with this, it's just like she's covered, but because she has an hourglass shape, that's a problem. All right, let's continue. All right. Armor off and she's fatter. Makeup off, okay? I just don't see what's positive about this. I don't see how this is a healthy beauty standard to be pushing out to anybody. It's not healthy. It's not healthy physically, okay, first of all. And when people fall off the wagon with their health, when they are fat, they're not going to be confident. No matter, like, even if everybody else around all the people on the TV, all the Lizzos in the world you can put on the screen, it's not going to make somebody feel confident in their skin, because inherently we feel more confident when we are healthy, unless there is a mental problem at hand. We simply feel confident when we are healthy, and health is beauty. Because when you look at beauty standards and you look at what people consider ugly, it is more often than not unhealthy. It's either unhealthy or an appearance of being unhealthy. So you have, like, being overweight is not the beauty standard. Why? Because it's not healthy. Okay, being underweight is not the beauty standard because it is not healthy. And so many people will argue against this and act like, oh, beauty standards are underweight, but they're really not. I don't see emaciated as a beauty standard. Now, if you're counting these like high-end, high fashion, super rich people who drink baby's blood and they are watching these runway models who look like they're on death's door, that's not actually a beauty standard, and most people do not find that beautiful. So I am not comparing that to that, but just saying it is typically health. Or even if someone's just like, if it's like, oh, this person is ugly, they don't fit beauty standard for this reason or that reason, if they're in shape, is typically because of something else that indicates not prime health, like, crooked teeth, just inbred looking features, things like that, right? If I'm being real. So I'm not trying to sound mean here, but I'm just saying, what is the beauty standard? For the most part, the beauty standard is going to be an image of health. Sometimes it can be in a little bit of an exaggerated image of health when you're looking at cartoons, or 3D images of characters like Lara Croft, for example, which I'll go over this a little bit more later as well. But it's a symbol of what a healthy woman would look like, but sometimes it can be a little exaggerated, but nobody is expecting anybody to look exactly like a cartoon. All right, let's go ahead and continue. So here she is in less clothes, wearing less clothing, mind you, more revealing outfit. See, that's another part that really says to me that they don't care about sexualization. This isn't a modesty thing, okay? This isn't about that. This isn't about anti-objectification, because they don't care if the outfits are revealing if it's on a body that is unhealthy and fat. Same thing with like Lizzo, for example. Look at the things that she wears and they glorify that. So it has nothing to do with modesty or anything like that for them. It's just they want to glorify bad health. She is. Skimp your outfit. She's wearing basically the exact same outfit that Lara Croft is criticized for wearing. It's definitely inspired by Lara Croft's outfit. You got the knee-high boots, you got the khaki shorts, you got the teal aqua-ish tank top, okay? So Lara Croft can't wear this without being called a slut, but she can wear it, and it's, female empowerment. Okay, 74% of girls feel underrepresented in video games. The thing is about a lot of this stuff is that most of the people who are complaining about feeling underrepresented, this, that, and the other, they're not actually planning on playing video games. A lot, like, look at Anita Sarkeesian, for example. So they want to complain about, oh, I'm not represented. They don't have me represented. They have these unrealistic beauty standards. But would they play anyway? Most of the time, no. Most of the people complaining about this stuff would not be playing anyway. Because if you actually look at girl gamers, we love playing as beautiful characters. I mean, look at I'm wearing a Sailor Moon shirt right now. The Sailor Moon women are all like super ultra long, thin legs, super slim, super cute. and an idealistic image of beauty. And girls love Sailor Moon. They love it. And with video games, any type of MMO, you can customize your character. You bet you that girl that's playing is going to want to make her character look as beautiful as possible. Me, I don't even like playing games if every character is ugly, especially if the character I play is ugly. I don't even want to play it. It's just like, I feel like the point of video games is that for the most part, except for some exceptions that there's some room for, but it's an escape from reality. So I want to play a game as a character who's ultra strong. I want to play a game as a character who's ultra attractive, you know, even if it's unattainable attractive. It's fun to play as. It's an escape. And I would not play a game with a character like this as the lead character, and I don't think many people would. As much as they want to keep trying to push this, good luck. Let's see if those 74% of girls who say they feel unrepresented in video games want to play that. Let's make virtual beauty real. How about not? How about we let virtual beauty be virtual beauty and let it be fun? This whole limitations on art is getting out of hand. And here's the ironic thing about it. Notice they made her less fat, okay? Here is the model they made her after, which if this woman was healthy, would be quite beautiful. So this isn't a knock to her. And I'm not here to shame her for where she's at right now. Who knows why she's gotten to the point that she is. You know, dietary guidelines in general are backwards, okay? People fix their health by eating opposite of what the food pyramid tells them to, okay? Making meat the primary fuel source. I do that. So it's just like, I've seen so many people reverse illnesses like diabetes and lose a lot of weight when they eat in ways that the dietary guidelines, currently modern approved dietary guidelines, against what that teaches, right? Now, I tell anybody, if you want to look into anything, do your own research, of course, before you do a dramatic dietary change. But let's be real, for a lot of people who are simply following the guidelines, it does make things difficult for them. So I'm not here to shame people. It's just do the research and try your best. Not that people who reach this point, that's still, in my eyes, is you got to eat a whole lot of food to maintain that. You got to eat a lot. So it is a bit more than just that. You can't only blame dietary guidelines, but they set people up for failure. So there's that. There's also, we don't know what this woman has been through in her life, and maybe that eating is her outlet, you know, to cope with whatever it is that she could have been through. There are so many factors here. And so I'm not here to shame her, okay? But I absolutely would encourage her and anybody else to try to get healthy, because you will be happier for it. You will live longer. Your quality of life will improve in general. Okay. So this isn't something that we should be glorifying at any capacity at all. We should be glorifying health. And likewise, I don't think we should be glorifying plastic surgeries. We shouldn't be glorifying, you know, excessive makeup. We shouldn't be glorifying fillers, all this kind of stuff, because, first of all, a lot of those things aren't healthy anyway. So I think ultimately at the end of the day, there's a balance to be had here. But let's go ahead and continue here. This is kind of to the point of, this tweet said, overtly sexual women in video games show a fit female character showing no skin, not really helping your argument, which is exactly what's going on. Look, there's nothing showing here, but this is called overly sexualized. Just makes no sense. It's stupid. And so then this guy tweeted, how is this less sexual? I thought the problem was impractical clothing. She's wearing less armor. Exactly. And then I made this quote tweet here, and I says, just goes to show it's not the outfits that they hate, it's beauty. They're offended by beauty, which is a lot of it, because a lot of people, they don't want to be inspired by other people. Same with like fitness. I've had friends mad at me. I've had at least one friend unfriend me altogether and have a big dramatic meltdown because I was promoting fitness and healthy nutrition and lifestyle. And that made this person mad and they were over it. And this was someone I was internet friends with since I was like a teenager. But once I was really pushing hard at promoting going to the gym, lifting weights, when I started doing that, and healthy eating, like carnivore diet, which is what I do, which there's multiple angles. That isn't the only way that you can have a healthy body. But still, this kind of stuff, it really upset her. It made her mad. And then people always want to make excuses. You see it all the time. People will do anything but actually eat healthy and work out. And they'll say, oh, well, I don't want to eat too much red meat. If you're a girl, it's just going to make me too bulky. Lifting weights is going to make me too bulky. I've been lifting weights and eating primarily just meat for the past, lifting weights for over 2 years now, and then eating primarily just meat on a carnivore diet for 3.5 years right now. And I'd like to think I don't look like a bulky man. So anyway, let's continue. And this is an example of what we're seeing in video games. Kala here says that video summarizes the reboot of Lara Croft. Female gamers aren't triggered by physically fit, attractive, feminine women. They love the power fantasy / of playing as a hunky man too. It's not gamers complaining. It's SJW bloggers who want to claim another thing to be triggered by. And this is exactly it. It's people who just want to claim something to be offended by. They wouldn't be playing these games anyway. And here we have an example of what they've done with Lara Croft. Now, this is even more of a travesty if you were to compare like actually classic Lara, but this is a more representative, even though there's, as a big Tomb Raider fan, I have my criticisms toward the Legend Anniversary Underworld reboots. But Lara's appearance isn't so much that. But what you see here is this is representative of that classic original design, which you kind of see right here. I have her Tomb Raider 2 jacket on, so it's covering some. But yeah, it's that very curvy, very feminine, very womanly body type. But she's also is supposed to be like fit and muscular and have very strong muscular legs to be able to push boulders, things like that. She just looked like a very athletic, fit woman who does what she does. Rock climbs and runs, swims, pushes boulders, that sort of thing. And then you see them change her to more of like a girl next door. And she's not ugly by any means. She's pretty, but it's not Lara Croft. It's a pretty girl that you would see in the real world, in your day to day. They gave her an ugly haircut. That's one thing, but they take a girl. Okay, she's pretty. Now they even use the same face and stuff and gave her better hair. I think that's one reason too why they gave her such an ugly haircut. They're so scared that she's gonna be too pretty. They are terrified of making her too pretty. So they give her really, really ugly hair. Her body, they kept changing between the games and the reboots. The first reboot, I don't think many people complained about how Lara Croft looked in the first one. But then, with Rise and then Shadow, they changed her a bit more and made her look less feminine along the way. And even with the muscles that they added, then they detracted those because originally in Shadow, she had more muscles and then they just took them away. But in photo mode, you can see them a little bit. So if you see like in the replies of this thread or any other thread and they're showing pictures of Lara Croft in Shadow of the Tomb Raider and she looks a lot prettier, then it's most likely because they are using photo mode. They're giving her more muscle, and they're also, the lighting, the filters, that sort of thing that they're using to make her look prettier, the flattering camera angles, all that, versus what she actually looks like in the game. So even then, when it's like, okay, they gave her some muscle tone on the arms, but then the rest of her body doesn't match that, because when a woman goes to the gym, typically, obviously there's different body types, but typically it's going to help build an hourglass frame a bit more. You're going to have the lats that the shoulders and the lats that give more of an hourglass appearance. That was one reason why I wanted to go to the gym, is to try to build myself a little bit more curves than I had naturally. So that's what it'll do. But in this case, what they did is, look at her midsection, there is no lat development. There is, I feel like as somebody who goes to the gym, you're going to notice this stuff more, because before I didn't until after I started to go to the gym. But I'm thinking, this doesn't add up, because if she actually were to be really, if they wanted to give her a fit look, you can't just throw toned arms on a body that otherwise looks, very average, very sedentary, and expect that to look fit. The rest of her body doesn't match that. Just only her arms and glutes are fit. It just doesn't add up. So, people kind of want to argue that this is a very exaggerated, this is a very cartoony, and I get that. If they wanted to go a more realistic angle, then her proportions would be a bit more toned down. And that's fine. I don't think anybody would even complain about that. Nobody complained about how Angelina Jolie looked in the Tomb Raider movies, right? So even if they made her look more like Angelina Jolie, and Angelina Jolie's body type in the Tomb Raider movies, it was still a very feminine body type, and then she was working out to achieve a more curvy figure as well during especially the first movie. So yeah, she doesn't have to look like a cartoon character, but when you completely take away all of her defining features, right, and make her completely unrecognizable so she can look average and non-threatening, because let's be real, that's one reason why they did this, is to make her non-threatening. Okay? Look at Tomb Raider 1's demographics, though. Tomb Raider 1, supposedly, according to Eidos Interactive, had a 40% female player base. Women love classic Lara Croft, okay? Love her. I don't know what the statistics are for the new games, but I guarantee you it's not even remotely close to that 40% female player base. So this isn't for women. This isn't to please women. It's some crazy movement, okay? It's just some crazy movement. This isn't to please their player base of women, though. I don't understand, because for some reason, when you look at the male feminists, they also like to see this. I don't know why. It's the male feminists and it's the female feminist. Honestly, it's feminists all across the board that are threatened by beauty for some reason. So I wanted to share this comic as well. So this shows, research shows 69% of female gamers feel unrepresented in video games and wish more characters looked like real women. And then I love this is like the Zelda energy bar even. She's like freaking out, exhausted, just climbing up the one thing. So yeah, it's unrealistic. It's unrealistic even to want to give a fat body type to a character who is supposed to be doing acrobatics, fighting bad guys, that sort of thing. It's simply impractical. It makes no sense. It would completely remove me out of the immersion of the game. But seeing a more exaggerated form of strength and beauty with a more curvy body type, especially those like strong curves, right? That is a lot more, especially when you place a character in an unrealistic setting, like Tomb Raider, for example, where Lara Croft is fighting T-Rexes. Used to, before they changed all that as well. But fighting T-Rexes, doing all these acrobatics and such, and as such, right? Whenever you're in a fantastical world, then having a fantastical character adds to it. So anyway, I am so over all of this. I feel like we have way more iconic female characters from the earlier 2000s, even the 90s with Lara Croft, for example, than we do now, and it's not even close. Okay, the closest thing we have in recent history is Aloy. And even with her, and what they've done with her in Forbidden West has been a huge downgrade and a lot more unremarkable. So even in that fairly recent time, they've made those drastic changes. So at this point, as female gamers who want to play as attractive, fantastic, over the top, amazing, characters that are female, then we have to just stick to more Japanese style games, because Western studios are scared to death to make an attractive female character for some reason. But anyway, there you have it for this video. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. I will catch you next time. And in the meantime, go boom.